Welcome to the Character Chronicles, the People Show. Checking the poster, Husker Nation, brought to you by DPS Concrete Construction, your local concrete experts. Check them out at dpsconstruction.net. Now, I got a pretty awesome guest today, but before I officially bring him on, in case you missed my past couple of interviews, go back and check it out with the great, the one and only, the GOAT, Tom Osborne. Also, my former Washington commander, the team, Redskin teammate. Let's just say we had a whole lot of fun. Roy Halou, and the upcoming interviews are Mr. Governor and former Husker himself, Jim Pillen, and then offensive coordinator Marcus Satterfield. Now smash that like button if you're excited for any of those interviews, and especially the man I'm bringing on today, which is Nebraska's new defensive coordinator, Coach Tony White. How you doing, Coach?
Hey, I'm doing awesome. Just getting ready for the guys to come back, scripting. It's that time of year, you know.
Now, as we were chatting before the interview started, you talked about how the practices are going to be a little bit different than what you've done in the past. So the immediate question that pops into my mind, what is a little bit different about these practices?
Yeah, you know what? Being around everybody in college football, talks about development, and developing players and all that stuff. Well, this is one of the few places I've been where the emphasis really meets the road, so to speak, where you see actual practice in it, which means, we at practice a lot of times, Adam, from your time playing ball, from when you're a kid to the pros, when you go team, let's say you got offense, one team out there on offense, one team out there in defense, and everybody else watching, well, here, the emphasis is trying to get as many reps for the guys as possible. So while one team might be doing offense versus defense, another team is over there doing 7-on-7. And then the third team's in there doing perimeter drill. And then it's a circuit where guys are consistently moving. They're getting reps. They're getting live reps, active reps in the offense and in the defense. And what better way to actually develop guys than to put them on the grass and let them do what they do,
So as opposed to, maybe one or two teams going and a bunch of guys standing around, basically everybody is moving, everybody's getting better at all times, which to most fans at home might sound like, why don't you do that all the time? I'll offer a thought, because it's a lot more difficult and challenging. So the fact that you guys are taking the time and the effort to do that speaks volumes, because most coaching staffs either won't or just don't have the time to do that. So my next question, all right, I guarantee you've been asked this. It's been asked a ton. It's the most logical question that immediately comes to people's minds, which is why I'm going to ask it. All right, the 3-3-5 defense gives you more speed and versatility on the field on defense. How do you utilize that against bigger teams, and is that a concern at all when you go against power-running football teams in the Big Ten Conference?
No, you know what? I heard I get asked that a ton, as you can imagine.
Yep.
And I was at an event with Coach Rule, and he put it a great way. Whether you are a 3-4 defense, whether you're 4-3 defense, back the old Chicago Bears 85 defense, all that kind of stuff. There's an element of what you're doing that's really, really important. But I think the most important thing is how you do it. Mm-hmm. The mindset and the physicality that you bring on defense. There's one consistent theme on great defenses. Whether you're talking about the Baltimore Ravens defense back in the day with Ray Lewis, Pittsburgh Steelers, the black shirts of old. Those guys were physical, they were aggressive, and they played together. They played relentless. And whether they were 3-4, 4-3, 3-3-5. That's the thing I think that is the most important, is that our guys know exactly what to do. They know how to do it, and they do it in a way that can overcome some of those other things, and obviously schematics helps, being in the 3-3-5. We were at Arizona State, and we played Michigan State twice and got a chance to go up against them there. And then, last year we were playing Purdue at Syracuse and got a chance to play them there and held up well against the run. So again, I think that the defense has seen the power run games before, so it's just a matter of making sure we know and we take care of what we want to take care of, and that's mindset, how we're going to do things.
Now, the defensive line obviously plays a huge role in any defense, but I would imagine especially a 3-3-5 type. defense. Our defensive line, just guys coming back, not quite as experienced as maybe some of the previous years. You got a guy like Ty Robertson who's played a lot of ball, and some other guys who played some snaps here and there as well. But how do you approach maybe a little bit more of an inexperienced type defensive line as a defensive coordinator as you prepare for this upcoming football season?
Yeah, great question, man. I mean, because it always starts up front, and everybody. I mean, you look at the best defensive lines in college football, and there's a common theme there that the size, the athleticism, it matches the experience. And we have some guys up there who are uber talented. I mean, like you said, Tyrod, Nash, Blaze, and then we got the influx of these new guys, whether transfer or recruits. Prince Will, Cam Lenhart, Elijah Judy. I mean, you got guys up front where they have the ability to do it. So then it goes back to the previous question in terms of it's our job to make sure that they know what to do and they feel confident in doing it. And then, with the lack of experience is the opportunity for somebody new to take stage. I mean, there's going to be a name or two that pop up front that you're like, wow, I had no idea he could do that. Well, that's because he wasn't given the opportunity to. So, we see it as opportunity for those guys that have not had a chance to extensively play, and plus those newcomers, it gives them a chance to say, hey, I'm competing. That means that they're going to study hard, they're going to practice hard, they're going to put themselves in a position to where now they can compete and want to get on the grass and play.
Now, I know one of the biggest things the Husker fans would like to see an improvement on, regardless of if we were 4-3-3, 4-3-3, 5, 10-1-1, 10, it wouldn't matter. We got to get better when it comes to tackling on a consistent basis. What are the biggest ways you guys are trying to focus on improving the tackling as an overall whole?
I think it's twofold. It's identifying how you want to tackle. Number one, there is an art to it, especially with guys being so big and so strong and so fast. You player safety is precedent. You want to make sure our guys know how to do it so that they take care of themselves. Number one, but number two, it goes back to the identity on how we're going to do things. So everything we do, the first thing we do defensively wise is our tackling circuit every single day. I mean, that's the first thing we do, all levels, because especially in the 3-3-5 defense, defensive backs are tasked with coming up there and stopping the run. Period. You ain't playing defense if you can't come up there and tackle ball carriers and throw it up in there. So you ain't playing. Period. So all levels have to be able to tackle, and so that's the first thing we do every day as a defense as a whole. And then the really cool thing about being with Coach Rule as well is he's a defensive guy at heart, man. He's a physical guy. He wants the line plays. He wants the physicality. He wants that. So when you practice like that as a team, I think that you're getting way more reps at doing those things where you can be physical in practice. You can be physical in the drills. You can be physical in everything you do. So that way it translates better, because everything is about taking reps, right? You need to take reps. Well, it's hard to be a good tackling team if you don't actually do it in practice, full speed, let them go. So I think, everybody saw spring game. Coach went out there and made all the quarterbacks live. That's something that's unheard of, and that's just what we do. So physicality is something that we're bringing, period, from the starts with the top down.
Yeah, I love that when they were live. As a defensive guy, I hated having to do two-hand touch on the on the green jersey guys.
I bet you were back there a lot, so I can imagine. Yeah, I can imagine.
Oh yeah, no, I've never shared this story. So for those who remember Kurt Dukes, he came in as a highly recruited quarterback out of North Carolina. He was here for a year or two, ended up transferring, I think, to Duke. We had a spring game, and I went to tackle, and then I realized it was a green jersey, so I stayed higher, and because I wasn't supposed to tackle him, and I grabbed a handful of, I don't know how else to say it. It was a ball, but not a football. And I didn't mean to, and he started screaming and yelling at me, and I'm like, dude, you'd be in much less pain if I could have just hit you. And he just started laughing. Well, he wasn't laughing yet, but he laughed eventually later on about it. So anyways.
Exactly. See, I mean, exactly my point, man.
Yeah, I've never told that before, and I didn't ever plan on it, but it just kind of happened. Hey, real quick, ladies and gentlemen. All right, soon, the Carricker Chronicles, August 15th, the website, Going to be a whole plethora of stuff. You got merchandise, you got the Chronicles show, you got the Big Ten show that I'm doing with my co-host Jeff Turn, where the H is silent. You got 93.7 The Ticket. You got a whole bunch of stuff. We got Carricker's Crew with Ashley Spitznagel's art. She's a phenomenal artist, going to be putting stuff on there. John Johnston of Corn Nation, who is highly entertaining and definitely not boring. And you got Connor Hayden of the Corn Craze YouTube channel. He's built a monster. He's going to be doing some stuff. We got our highlight tapes we've been putting out throughout the summer, from the 09 defense to Amir Abdullah to some of the top recruits who've committed. We put together highlight tapes. They're all going to be on the Carricker Chronicles website, August 15th. It's almost here. All right. Last couple of questions. I appreciate your time, Coach. I know it's a busy time of year for you, but you mentioned some guys may emerge. So I'm curious, so far, who were some guys who've emerged so far throughout this offseason as potential leaders on defense, and maybe some surprise people, some surprise players on defense that fans should keep their eyes out for?
Yeah, let me see. Since we've been here, I thought starting up front, Blaze Gunnarsson, he's done a really nice job, man. I mean, he's again, athletically all that you want, can do anything. Just needed the opportunity. I think he's going to do a really nice job. Nash, I mean, this guy, I mean, just being around him every day, you're rooting for him. He does everything the right way. Fun to watch him, fun to be around. And then, like I said, you got a whole bunch of young guys up there. I know Prince Will and Cam. They really put on a show there in the spring and did some really nice things. And Corey Campbell and his staff in the weight room have done a really nice job of getting those guys bigger, stronger, faster. And so, we expect good things from them to continue on what they did in the spring. Going to backers, John Bullock, he's a guy who, it's crazy. Again, you talk about development. He was a guy who we had as a rover spot, kind of the third or fourth safety, and then moving him down the backer and giving him a chance to run around. And then lo and behold, he's, coming out of spring as possible starting linebacker, put on scholarship. And again, another guy who does everything right. You root for Luke and Nick. I mean, those guys have proven to be able to play in college football and lead locker rooms and do a great job there. I think MJ Sherman, Jamari Butler, and all those Jacks and Chief Borders, those three guys, it's going to be fun to watch those guys run around and wreak havoc, because that's what they do, man. That's, anytime you got a guy who just they put their cleats in the ground and just go and attack the ball. I mean, it's fun to just turn them loose and blink, and all of a sudden you see him in the backfield, and it's a really cool deal as a defensive coordinator. So looking forward to those guys. And then in the secondary, I'd say, Malcolm Hartzog has been truly special back there since we've been here. He's a guy that does everything right. You really root for, playmaker, versatile in the back end. Giff and Giff has done a nice job at the Rover. Omar Brown's come on a little bit, showing what he can do. Again, just didn't play much, but had the chance and showed out in the chances he has. And obviously Quinn Newsome at the corner spot has a chance for a big year and stuff. So it's been fun, man, to watch those guys kind of do what's expected, and then obviously with the development in the summertime, getting bigger, faster, stronger, learning what we're supposed to do and how to do it, and doing the player OTAs in the summertime. It's been fun, and it's exciting to see what they're going to do in the fall.
All right, Coach, last question I got for you. I know Matt Rules mentioned there's going to be 3-man line, 4-man lines. I know from a 3-3-5 defense, there's more blitzing and more of attacking style defense as well. But for me, a guy who wanted to hit quarterbacks so bad, as poor Kurt Dukes found out all those years ago, how are we going to plan on getting after the quarterback a little bit more effectively than we have in some of the recent years?
Yeah, I think that goes back to all-encompassing, right? The program, number one, having the athleticism, putting guys, our jobs as coaches is to put them in the right positions to rush and who to rush against. T. Knight got a great staff here in terms of T. Knight and what he's done himself and the knowledge he brings and the way he coaches those guys with Jack Potenza and Phil Simpson. All those guys helping out. And then, for us, again, it starts with making them confident in knowing what to do, knowing how to do it, and then letting them go out there and do it. As a player, especially now turning to the coordinator role, you got to give those guys the freedom, You know, I mean, you got to let those guys say, "Hey, man, go, let me see what you can do," versus, trying to control them too much and thinking, you're playing Madden on PS5 or something. Man, let the boys go.
Yep.
Let them know what's up. Let them be good in situations. Let them know, hey, man, you're free to go do it, man. Go out there and play ball and have ultimate confidence in going out there and doing it and seeing it. And again, and coming and changing up looks, that kind of stuff. So it's all encompassing, man, and things we're getting through right now, working on right now.
All right, Husker fans, let me know in the comments below. What do you think Nebraska's defense is going to look like this year? How excited are you? What areas do you think they're going to improve in the most? And until next time, Husker Nation, go Big Red. And always remember,
throw them bones. Let's go.
If you're a diesel mechanic, CDL driver, or concrete finisher looking for work in the Omaha metro area, DPS Construction is the employer for you. If you're a general contractor, building owner, or property manager looking for concrete repair or work done in the Omaha metro area, such as street paving, building floors, and parking lots, check out dpsconstruction.net.